Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're back to work on our 1990 GMC K1500, and today we're replacing the transmission pan. We did a previous video on the transmission pan. We'll link that below, but don't click on it. It leaked everywhere. It was terrible. So we're gonna redo it today, and we're gonna seal this thing up. It's never gonna leak again. All right, so here we are under the truck, and here's a look at our oil pan. And this is just a sheet metal oil pan, like a stock replacement style. And I've already tried replacing the gasket once. So I've tried a couple of different things, and I really just cannot get this guy to seal up. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this oil pan. So there's 16 bolts around the perimeter holding it on, and we'll get started. All right, so we've got all of the bolts out. I did put some gasket sealer on this, trying to get it to seal up, and that means we're gonna have to tap the pan a little bit to break it loose. So I've got a little rubber mallet here. We'll see if we can get it broken loose. I put a couple of bolts back in this so it doesn't fall on me. Okay, so we've got the pan off. We'll have to scrape off all the old gasket material. Obviously, we had already drained this oil, so that's why it's not leaking everywhere and making a huge mess. So we'll get this flange all cleaned up, and we'll show you the new pan and the new gasket. Here's a look at what we're going to be replacing the old pan with. This is a deep sump pan from Summit Racing, and it's an aluminum pan. So it's got nice fins on the bottom. It's also got a drain plug, and it has a really, really thick flange. And that flange is nice and flat. And I think that's really the problem with those sheet metal pans. As you tighten the bolts, this flange kind of bends, and then you end up with leaks all over the place. So we won't have that problem with this pan. I'm gonna go with a FEL-PRO gasket. I've had really good luck with FEL-PRO in the past. And the pan also comes with a nice new hardware kit, a couple of filter extensions, since this is a deep sump pan, and all new bolts as well. So we'll start off with installing the filter extension and the spring for it as well. Okay, so the first step is to remove this bolt right here, and we're gonna put the transmission filter spring underneath that bolt. And here's a look at the spring that came with the deep sump kit. We're going to put that there and then reinstall the bolt. And then we'll torque this bolt to 8 foot-pounds. There we go. All right, so this is the hole where the transmission filter installs. And the kit comes with 2 O-rings. So I've lubed these O-rings up, and we're supposed to install them into the transmission. So go ahead and do that now. And I just lubed these with a little bit of clean automatic transmission fluid. Here's the second one. Okay, so both of those O-rings are installed. And here is a look at our filter extension. I've also lubed this up with a little bit of automatic transmission fluid to help it slide in. So go ahead and slide that in next. And there we go. The next step is to reinstall the filter. And I know what you guys are thinking, is he reusing his old transmission filter? And the answer is yes, but it's actually brand new. I installed this with my last gasket change, and I never even drove the truck because the pan leaked as soon as we filled it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in. There we go. Here's a look at our new FEL-PRO filter, and I'm actually going to coat it in just a very, very thin coat of synthetic grease. And the reason for that is the last time I installed one of these style filters, it was a cork filter, it wasn't this FEL-PRO filter. It ripped around a bunch of the different bolt holes. And I have read that if you put a little bit of grease on this, it allows it to slip just a little bit so that it doesn't rip as you tighten the bolts. So I'm going to give that a try. Just a dab of synthetic grease here. Just kind of rub it down on this filter. All right, so there we go. Just a very, very thin coat of grease on that gasket, and we're gonna give that a try. All right, so we're ready to put the pan in. I've installed 4 bolts, 1 at each corner, and those are being held in place with the gasket right now. Okay, so we've got 1 bolt started in each corner. I'll go ahead and install the rest of the bolts and we'll get them torqued down. So we've got all of the bolts snugged up. The final step is to torque each one to 10 foot-pounds. Okay, there we go. Okay, so last but not least, we're gonna install a magnetic drain plug. This pan did not come with magnetic drain plug, so I purchased this one. The thread is a 3/8 NPT thread. So here is a look at the magnet on the end of this new magnetic drain plug. And it's small, but these are super, super strong magnets. So as an example, here's a 21mm end wrench, pretty heavy. We'll stick that onto the magnet and look at that. It can hold that wrench up. So very, very strong little magnet. Should be able to grab anything floating around in the oil. Go ahead and thread that into the pan. And we'll just snug it up. That should do the trick. For oil, we're using ACDelco Dexron-VI. I'm gonna start with 6 quarts and then we'll check it. All right, so we just got back from our test drive. We put about 20 miles on the truck. It ended up taking just under 8 quarts of ATF to fill it. There are no leaks to be seen. I think we finally addressed this leaky transmission pan. If we do see a leak pop up, we'll make sure to comment below and let you guys know. But as far as we can tell at this point, I think this is the solution if you've got a leaky transmission pan. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe.